Bhagavatam program where we read prayers of pure devotees. Today we are starting with a new theme, prayers of Akrura. These are very beautiful prayers. These are from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 40, verse 1 to 30. Today we have a very wonderful devotee, Kesavapani Prabhu, who will be presenting the verses and his realizations. Hare Krishna Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakiya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadankitam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste. Panchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Om Mukham Karoti Vacharam Pankam Lankaite Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Diyadaranam. Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Satsara Prabhuji and Jesabra Mataji, for giving this opportunity to recite and share my realizations. Please forgive me if there will be like mistakes. So this prayers, Akrura prayers, we were talking about today. So previously, Kamsa sends Akrura to ask Akrura to go to Vrindavana and bring Lord Krishna and Balrama to the to Mathura. So and Akrura, he feels very happy internally that that he's going to get a chance to associate with means like having the darshan of Krishna and Balrama, and he want to, as soon as he reach Vrindavana, in his mind he thinks that he will just take the dust of the Vrindavana and apply, and he, as soon as he will de-exit as it is, he will, as soon as he go to Vrindavana, he will go and he really enjoys that moment actually. So these prayers, when he goes to Yamuna river and he sees Supreme Personality of Godhead in the reflections in the water, and that's when this prayer starts. This is the 10th canto. Just 1 minute. I'm opening the paper. 10th canto, 40th chapter. You go with the first shloka. Natosmyaham twakila hetu hetum Narayanam Purushamadhyamavyayam Yanna Vijata Ravinda Koshad Brahma Virasidhyata Esha Lokaha. So when I read this sloka, like the realizations, what I feel in this sloka, that so translation given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Akrura said, I bow down to you, the cause of all causes, the original and inexhaustible Supreme Person, Narayana. From the world of the lotus born from your navel, Brahma appeared, and by his agency, this universe has come into being. So the word which we can think of here is Twakila hetu hetum. That is very important. Here, the cause of all causes, the original and the supreme absolute truth. Brahma Samhita, the cause of all causes. In Brahma Samhita, it was says like Ishvara, Parama, Krishna, Satchidananda, Vigraha, Adiradir, Govinda, Sarva, Karana, Karanam. So it is the cause of all causes, and we must understand that Karana, that cause. In this case, as Prabhupada says, like the cause of all causes is Krishna. Everything has a cause and effect, and ultimately Krishna is the cause and the Krishna is effect. So he is the original cause. As Bhagavatam also states in the first shloka, Janma Adhyasya Yatonyatha. In that shloka also, it's like the everything is originally emanated from him only. So also we can think like that I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds, and he is the ultimate supreme aham sarvasya prabhavo. So this shloka refers to like purusha. We can derive this realization. That is my realization. Moving on to the next shloka. Bhustoyamagne pavaman kamadir mahanajadi mana indriyani sarvendriyartha vibudhascha sarve ye he tavaste jagatong So translation, if I go to the next sloka, the translation goes, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and its source, false ego, the Mahatattva, the total material nature, and her source, the Supreme Lord's Purusa expansion, the mind, the senses, the sense objects, and the senses pervading deities. All these causes of the cosmic manifestation are born from your transcendental body. So, like, my realization here is that, like, these are all are all these separated energies are emanating from Bhagavan, which is like we have multiple references in Bhagavad Gita about being like all are emanating from him as a separated material energies, prakriti, the material nature, bhumi rapo nalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyamme binna prakriti rashtata. um, and also this is like that is the like the concentration position of the god, and all these diverse energies, um the energy of the Lord in his different Purusha incarnations are like emanating from all these are part and parcel of Bhagavan. So Akrura is mentioning it with his realizations, and also as per Narada Pancharatra, it goes like Vishnu's to Treen Rupani, and that is like from material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. Here it says in the second shloka, Mahatattva, like Mahavishnu. The first one is that Mahavishnu that creates the total material energy, known as the Mahatattva. And the second is the Garbhodakasai Vishnu, which enters into all the universes, creates diversities in each of them. And the third is the Kshirodakasai Vishnu, and is diffused by all pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. So Treen Rupani, as per Narada Pancharatra. Vishnustu Treen Rupani. So he is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. So that is what is referred in this shloka also in the like Mahat Tattva and all the material energies, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All this cause of the cosmic manifestations are born from the transcendental body. That also is mentioned here. So even though Lord Brahma born out of Bhagavan, who's has the transcendental body, but he's not. His body is material. Brahma's um, uh, uh, and Krishna's body is transcendental, untouched by matter. So therefore, he's existed before this material manifestation. And here we can conclude that the Bhagavan's body, transcendent body, is not made of material elements. That we can consider this as one of the realization. Now, moving on to the next shloka. Naite swarupam viduratmanaste ह्यजादयो नात्मतया गृहीताः अजोऽनुबद्धः सगुणैरजाया गुणात् परं वेद न ते स्वरूपम्. Translation: the total material nature and these other elements of creation separately cannot know you as you are, for they are manifested in the real realm of dull matter. Since you are beyond the modes of nature, Brahma, who is bound up in these modes, does not know your true identity. Here, Prabhupada gave a purport and it has the realizations. So, here the important point is what I felt is Naite Swarupam and Nate Swarupam and Gunai Rajaya and Gunat Param. So Bhagavan is transcendental to material nature. Unless we also come to that level of that, also transcend the limited conscious of material existence, we cannot know him. Prabhupada gives us, even the greatest living entity, Brahma, cannot understand the Supreme. Even the greatest mystic yogis cannot understand him. So in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says that Name vidus suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayaha aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. Even the great sages cannot know my origin, my opulence. That's what it says. So that is the reason Akrura is praying in such a way that unless and until we come to the platform of pure Krishna consciousness, we cannot understand the process. And the process to come to the platform of pure Krishna consciousness is always engage in devotional service. Bhagavan says, Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Mam chayo vyabicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So moving on to the next shloka. त्वां योगिनो यजन्त्यथा महापुरुषमीश्वरं साध्यात्मं साधिभूतं च Sadhidaivam cha sadavaha. I will go with the 4, 5, and 6, 7 shlokas because the translation is more or less equal here. So, Traya Javidyaya Kechet Tvam Vai Vaitanika Dvijaha Yajante Vitatair Yagnair Nana Rupam Parakhyaya Ye ke tvakila karmani sanyasya syopasham gataha jnanino jnana yajnena yajanti jnana vigraham anye cha samskrutatmano vidinabhihitena te यजन्ति त्वन्मयास्त्वं वै बहुमूर्त्येकमूर्तिकम्. So the translation for the next few shlokas is pure yogis. Translation for text number 4: pure yogis worship you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by conceiving of you in the threefold form comprising the living entities, the material elements that constitute the living entities, bodies, and the controlling deities of those elements. So, next text is text number 5. Brahmanas who follow the regulations concerning the 3 sacred fires worship you by chanting mantras from the 3 Vedas and performing elaborate fire sacrifices for the various demigods who have various forms and names. Text number 6. In pursuit of spiritual knowledge, some persons renounce all material activities and, having thus become peaceful, perform the sacrifice of philosophic investigation to worship you, the original form of all knowledge. Text 7. And yet others, those whose intelligence is pure, follow the injunctions of Vaishnava scriptures promulgated by you, absorbing their minds in thought of you. They worship you as the one Supreme Lord, manifesting in multiple forms. So here, in the text 4, Akrura has described how those who follow the path of Sankhya and Yoga and the 3 Vedas worship the Supreme Lord in different ways. So here in the purport also, Prabhupada clearly indicated that the Vedas stated that there is one supreme controller, the absolute truth, that is Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though in the Vedas it is mentioned that Indra is or other demigods as supreme, and they gave elaborate discussion, but Vedas also mentioned that there is only one absolute truth, that is the final destination, that is Sri Krishna. His potency through material creation into the forms of the demigods. So here it says that in Bhagavad Gita also, it's mentioned in 7th chapter that kamaistaistrai hritagnyanaha prapadyante anya devataha tam nemamastaya prakritya niyata swaya. So, however, one who wants to achieve eternal perfection should worship the Lord directly in full Krishna consciousness. Even though there are who have reached the demigods, ultimately it's the Bhagavan who is sanctioning the desires through the demigods. That's what the sloka says. Even in Bhagavatam, second canto, it says akama sarva kamova moksha kama udharidirihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajante purusham param. So um, so um, so ultimately it's the um, uh, it's the Bhagwan who is actually bestow the benefits upon the devotees. devotees through the demigods. So even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, it says that Ekele Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bratya. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the master, and all other are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. So that's the uh, uh, that is the mood a devotee should serve to Bhagavan. So even the Akrura prayers also saying in the same way. Moving on to the next shloka. Even this also Twame Vanye Shivoktena Margena Shivarupinam Bahyacharya Vibhedena Bhagavanta Mupasate. So the word, so the translations are there are still others who worship you, the Supreme Lord, in the form of Lord Shiva. They follow the path described by him and interpreted it in various ways by many teachers. So here also the Prabhupada writes here that indicate the path of worshipping Lord Shiva is indirect and therefore inferior. Akrura himself is following the superior method by directly worshipping Krishna or Vishnu with his prayers. Even in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Rudranam Shankaraschasmi. So I'm the Shiva and I'm Kartikeya. So he mentions all these things. So and a pure Vaishnava, a pure devotee knows this, as mentioned previously in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela. So Bhagavan is the only master and all are servants. That is one thing which we have to keep in mind, and we have to set our mood. Text number 9. सर्व एव यजन्ति त्वां सर्वदेवा मयैश्वरम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यद्यप्यन्यधीयः प्रभो. But all these people, my Lord, even those who have turned their attention away from you and are worshipping other deities, are actually worshipping you alone, O embodiment of all the demigods. So here again, this proves the same point. Purport. The idea here is that even those who worship the demigods are indirectly worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu. The understanding of such worshippers, however, is imperfect. So again, this lays down the point again, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, 2nd shloka. Satyaya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasyaradhana Mihate Labate cha Tatah Kaman Maya eva Vihitan Hitan. Yo yo yam yam tanur bhakta Shraddhaya Architamichati Tasya chalam Shraddham Tam eva Vidatamyaham. So it says that endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So this point proves again. Next shloka. Yada driprabhavanadhyaha parjanya purita prabho vishanti sarvata sindhum tattvatvam gatayon nataha. So translation: as rivers born from the mountains and filled by the rain flow from all sides into the sea, so do all these paths in the end reach you, O Master. So here also again, this is very I really like this shloka. Actually, I really like the purport by Prabhupada, because here the Lord Krishna himself speaks on this issue of worship in the Bhagavad Gita. Ye pyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mam yeva kaunteya yayante avidhi purvakam. So अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च नातु माम् अभजिनन्ति तत्त्वेनाश्चयन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रतान् भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्य यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम्. So here lot of people argue here. They read they don't know the complete like I'm talking about non-devotees, like some they will mention why mentioned like this, like those who are the devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, but they do so in a wrong way. So they will just take that last word, they do so in a wrong way, and they will come to a conclusion. So it's actually the answer is mentioned in the 24th shloka. So I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacred. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature will fall down. So again, in the 25th shloka, so those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So it's very, very good reference shlokas, 9th chapter, 23 to 25 verse, and it perfectly applies. Prabhupada really summed up all these shlokas starting from fourth, I think fourth shloka, and continuously fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, ninth, and 10th until 10th shloka. He summed up everything with these three shloka references from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So I think it's clear, loud and clear, that Bhagavan is the ultimate source, and he is the only he's the ultimate protector. So I think I will stop here. Thank you all for your time. Please forgive me if I have made. I know I made a lot of mistakes, but I want to humbly request devotees help. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Kesavapani Prabhu, that was fantastic. These are such beautiful prayers, and you so nicely summarized the prayers and the key essence of them. You started with narrating the past time of why these prayers are Akrura saying these prayers, and then you picked up the verses and shared your realizations. Very nice, Prabhu. Just quickly, 3 points that I would like to share. That Lord is Krishna is the cause of all causes, and everything emanates from him. He's the original cause, and so much of glory is on Krishna. And if we have to come to the platform of pure devotion, that's possible only by devotional service. So this really signifies the importance of why we should do devotional service, and how that is the only way for us to progress further in the path of bhakti. And finally, the point that you made, that even if you have material desires, pure devotees will always go to Krishna, not go to demigods. So no matter what, we always have to do devotion to Krishna and always to serve him. That is the key and the ultimate of this Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu. That was a very nice presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the Prabhus and Matajis for joining the BhagavatSanga program. We will conclude the program today and see you all next week. Hare Krishna.